even in my role in Governor Holcomb's office, when I was working with local officials, again, the vast majority, if not all of them, were older than me, and some significantly older than me. So trying to bridge that gap in attitude and approach was something that I had to work on.
Pull up a chair, bring the vision you're chasing. Look over the blueprints, years in the making. From planning to progress and growth that will last. Come on, let's build and enable at the inside table. At the inside table.
Thanks for joining us today at the Insight Table. So happy to have the guest that we have today. Our guest today, his name is Tyler Warman. He's with the Indiana County Commissioners Association, ICC as it's affectionately called. You're going to hear a lot from Tyler, but what I love about Tyler is his youth and his energy for what he does every single day. But listen carefully for him as he talks about how he deals with counties of different areas. So whether one's urban, maybe suburban or rural, and how that really fits into this conversation. So really hope you enjoy this conversation today and looking forward to this. Today we have Tyler Warman with us from the Indiana County Commissioners Association, or is it just ICC? Okay, so I'd love to start today with you just introducing yourself, kind of tell us who you are, where you came from, and maybe how you got to where you are today with ICC.
Sure. So I've served as executive director of the ICC for the last year and a half, almost. It's been a fantastic run so far, and I'm looking forward to the future. Before this, I served for 6 years in Governor Holcomb's administration in a variety of roles. And in the last few years of his administration, I worked as his liaison to local government officials in all 92 counties across the state. So primarily mayors and county commissioners. It was a fantastic job. I joke with people that I was lucky enough to eat my way across the state.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Busy, a lot of meetings, a lot of lunches in the car, on the road, because we do have a good sized state. People forget that. And 92 counties along with it. So getting to each one of those and serving the elected officials that serve their residents, their constituents, that was a fantastic experience. I was able to work on some great projects with those local elected officials, and at the state level, including the Health First Indiana program. Was ecstatic about that transformational public health funding in 2023, and we were able to get all 92 counties to opt into this voluntary program.
Wow.
Huge, but I always look to that as probably the highlight of my experience in the administration. But made a lot of those connections, made a lot of friends along the way as well. Quite a few still to this day, and now I get to work with some of the people that I served previously when I was working in the administration.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's back up a little bit more so our listeners can get to know you a little bit better. So where are you from originally?
Yeah.
You from around here?
No, I'm actually from California.
California. So what brought you to Indiana?
The weather. No,
I'm sure that was it. Yeah.
A lot of things kind of got me here. So born and raised in California, went to school in Michigan, Hillsdale College, a small college up there, and that was where I actually had my first experience with Indiana.
Okay.
I was pretty active civically, and I had some friends in Indiana, so I spent some time in the northern part of the state when I was in college, and then my wife and I we met at Hillsdale, and then we went to Las Vegas,
Okay.
of all places.
To live or to get married?
Good point.
Okay,
I do have to clarify that. Thank you for that. Not to get married. We got married in Minnesota, but where she's from. But in Las Vegas, Hillsdale encourages its graduates to go out and teach
Okay.
what we were taught at Hillsdale. So that was kind of a Teach for America kind of setup. So a lot of charter schools. Hillsdale has kind of a network of charter schools across the country, and we chose to teach for a couple years
Nice.
at one in Las Vegas. Incredible experience, very very difficult experience.
Hmm.
I mean, my dad's a public school teacher, so I already had respect for
Yeah.
teachers growing up, but even more so now. It's a very tough but very critical,
Yeah.
essential role to the education
What
of
year would this
children.
been?
Oh gosh. Uh, Good thing I didn't teach math. Probably 2016,
20, okay,
2017.
right about then. Yeah.
So did that for a couple years. I taught sixth grade, which is
Okay.
a great age.
And your wife was in the same school as you, or
She was in the same school. She actually taught in the second year that we were there. She taught sixth grade as well. So
okay?
it was Mr. and Mrs. Warman teaching the sixth grade. It was a good idea in theory.
In theory,
In practice, we had to figure out some other things to talk about
I'm
besides
sure.
our
And yeah,
students.
yeah.
But so did that for 2 years, and then found opportunities in Indiana.
Okay.
So I went to work in a political role here, and then Kim is now teaching at a small private school, Coram Deo Academy. So she's teaching fourth grade, and she's also an administrator there.
Okay.
So she's still teaching.
Well, good. So, how did you get to the governor's office? Because that's kind of was that why you came back here? In the governor's office?
No,
Okay,
so I was working for the Indiana Republican Party at the time. That was my opportunity to
Mhm.
come back, kind of start at the ground level. Enjoyed my time there, and was looking to serve in a more official capacity in government to provide that public service, and got a role in the administration right after the election, and was working there, and then 6 years went by. I
Yeah,
couldn't believe
quick.
how quick it went. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So all that time kind of leading you to what you're doing today. So tell us what the Indiana County Commissioners Association is all about.
Sure.
What is ICC about? What do you do every day?
Yeah.
Like what is the main goal?
So the Indiana County Commissioners Association is a nonprofit trade organization that represents county commissioners in all 92 counties. So that's about 276 county commissioners
Are there
across
county
the state.
commissioners in Marion County?
They're yes and no.
Okay.
More technically, but they're more of kind of an ex officio
Okay.
role. I think they meet once a month for some various issues, but it's not
Because
like
of Unigov, that all
because of Unigov.
yeah.
I believe the technically the county commissioners in Marion County are like the assessor, the auditor, and the
Oh,
clerk.
okay.
I
So they're
believe.
actually elected to other positions.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Just to your
That's
point about
yeah.
Unigov.
Yeah.
But in every other county, they more or less function the same way, and they are the executive of the county. There are 3 county commissioners per county, and they kind of drive the direction that the county's in. The county commissioners are typically the between the commissioners and the council. The commissioners are more of the daily drivers of the county, while the county council is the fiscal branch.
Yeah.
So we represent our county commissioners across the state. We at the State House, that is a large part of our role and responsibility, making sure that we're engaged at the State House on issues that are important to our membership. And we can get into that. I'm not sure if you
we
want
might.
to talk
I
about
think we
legislative
do.
session.
I think we do.
but,
Yeah.
So that's a large part of our organization, representing them at the State House on their priorities and principles. We also host leadership training and education
Okay.
and conferences and different events throughout the year, especially at our end of the year conference, where we kind of build up
Yeah.
into the legislative session, providing that education and a resource for our membership.
Well, good. I do think the county form of government in Indiana is different than anywhere else I've ever been. I've lived in Wisconsin and in Georgia. We've spent some time in Kentucky and some other places, and um, Indiana having 3 commissioners that become the, like you said, executive branch of the county is different. I think Kentucky calls them the judge executive is what
Mhm.
they call them. That's kind of the
Which is a great title,
isn't
isn't
it?
that?
Yeah. And I think in Wisconsin, it's the county executive.
Mhm.
I think you spent a little bit of time in Wisconsin too, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I interned for the governor of Wisconsin
Okay. I
back
thought
a
I saw an
number of years
internship
ago.
on
Yeah,
your resume
it was
there.
it was a great summer in Madison.
I bet it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Very very active with that particular governor. I lived in Wisconsin for a while, so I was familiar
Okay.
with him. So the but again, this idea of county government is a little bit unique. When you have if you relate the commissioners to a mayor,
Mm.
right, which has the visionary kind of the driver of that, but you have 3 of them,
Mhm.
right? Um, are just for our listeners, so are they elected by boundary? So they kind of split the county into 3, and there's one that's overall. How are they elected? Are they by district?
So they have to live in a district. So the county is split into commissioner districts, but they are elected by the county.
Okay, so the whole
That's
county votes
important.
on
The
all.
whole county votes on
Okay,
them, regardless of where the constituent or the voter lives.
right.
But they vote for all of them.
Okay,
Correct.
good. So now that we've got the executive branch set up, we got the fiscal body, kind of legislative. They can pass ordinances and different things that they're doing, right, and kind of making financial decisions. What do you see in your travels across the state as maybe the biggest hurdle currently
Mm.
for our county officials?
Quite a few.
Okay, we
Let
got
me
some
see.
time.
Biggest hurdles, I'd say. Well, first off, I have to say that county officials, to your point about county versus city, I think uh, a lot of specifically county commissioners and county council are part-time positions for the most
Hmm.
part throughout the state, and I think they are uh, definitely underrated in how the public views them because the county commissioners and the council they lead the county similar to what a mayor and a city council does. But the cities somehow get all the attention. I
That's
don't
right.
know. So I think one obstacle that our county officials have is trying to make sure that their message gets through the projects that they're working on, what's important to them. So that's extremely important, and an obstacle that we have to face as county officials. We're always on the defense when it comes to the state. When it so our priority, our founding principle as the ICC is home rule, and that's because that is the principle
Hmm.
of every county commissioner in the state. Marion County is not the same as
That's right.
Martin County, which isn't the same as Steuben County. Every county, we have 92 different and
Yep.
very unique counties, and they should be treated as such. So one of the obstacles that we have to deal with every year during session is making sure that we get the message across that when our state legislature is passing statewide legislation, to realize and understand that there will be 92 different ways of looking at a problem, looking at and trying to find a solution
Yeah.
to that problem, and trying to form legislation around having that flexibility that allows our counties to continue having that home rule, that
Yeah.
local control. That's a big thing. That's a big motivation for us because it's our founding principle.
Well, I think you make a really good point that needs to probably be hovered over here for a second, which is Marion County, obviously with a high density
Mhm.
population. Even Marion County is different than Hamilton County, which still has high density population. But then you go to the next step and you pick your county that's rural, right? With very few people, very, very open, sparse, maybe one, kind of center core community that is the county seat, but everything else is rural. Like those are totally different environments, totally different needs. And so how do you think through and balance those? Is it simply just like you said of, hey, we want to give everybody the flexibility to do
Yep.
what they need to do? Or is it, hey, there are some things that really need to be thought through for our rural counties, and there's some things that really need to be thought through for our urban counties?
I'd say it's a little bit of both, but we do come back to that founding principle of home rule because, to your point, every county will look at
Yeah.
a situation, an issue differently, and a solution will fit different counties differently. So I think that's why our umbrella is under the kind of that local control home
Gotcha.
rule umbrella, because it fits
Yeah.
all of our counties. But also we look at specific policy issues when it comes to infrastructure, making sure that the community crossings matching grant program continues, and making sure that
Mhm.
we're able to use it to its fullest potential. Economic development, what does that look like? Making sure that there are opportunities in every county, regardless of whether it's rural, urban,
Sure.
or suburban. So I think having that home rule umbrella, but also providing opportunities across counties that they can kind of fit
Yeah.
to their specific needs.
Okay. You did mention legislative session, which we just kind of came out of one, so we're just a little fresh off of that. Do you want to kind of maybe highlight that for us a little bit? Kind of what
Sure.
is affecting the counties that's come out of this most recent session that's going to take effect here this year?
Sure. So quite a bit.
Okay.
I know you are well aware that uh, last year in 25, SEA 1 passed, which was the large property tax reform
Yes.
and local
I've
income
had a
tax
lot of people
reform.
talk about this at this very table. So
Okay, well, good. I'm
yeah,
I'm glad I'm not
yeah,
the only one.
yeah,
So that's currently in the works. There were some changes that were made in this legislative session, including around lit, because that will be a large part of local government revenue.
which is local income tax, right?
Yep,
Yep.
local
Mhm.
income tax. So that'll be a large part of local government revenue uh, going into the future. So there were some things that we worked on that to make sure that we have the revenue to provide the services that our
Sure. Yeah,
constituents require
that's
and
right.
deserve.
Right.
So worked on that quite a bit. I know one bill that got a lot of attention across the state and at the state house and with our membership was House Bill 1001. Uh, it was a residential housing development bill to push more affordable housing.
Mm,
Um, to be clear, the ICC supports housing and more of it across the state. But to my point earlier about home rule and the uniqueness
sure.
of every county, housing means different things in different
Yeah.
counties. You may see more apartments in Hamilton County than you will in Clay County, for example. So I think trying to find that balance
Yeah.
between
It's a good point.
pushing positive policy, and residential development can be positive policy, but doing it in the right way with local input to
Mhm.
make sure that they have their voices heard and that they can help um, provide solutions for their specific county while also achieving the state goals of increasing our housing supply.
Yeah, good. Anything else on that legislative session you wanted to talk about? I mean, we can probably sit there for an hour if we wanted
Yeah,
to, but I don't
I'm
think
sure, and I
we
don't
don't
know
want to
if
put
I want
everybody to
to.
sleep. Yeah, I don't want to put everybody to sleep with that.
That kind of I'll keep it to those two things. There will always be bills and a piece of legislation that we are working on, either because of our concerns with it or because we're positive and supportive of it. And we have quite a few partners
Yeah.
at the legislature that do understand and support local officials. Representative Ethan Lawson worked on some positive legislation for us this past session, which is super helpful, and he's
Great.
been a great
Yeah.
collaborator. Representative Elena Schonkweiler
Mhm.
and Senator Rick Niemeyer worked on the township reform legislation that
Yes.
passed, which is, I would say, is historic, but uh, not many people have been talking about it. I mean, I
I think
could.
that's another episode. We're going to try to get Representative Schonkweiler in here to have an episode to talk about that
That would be
specifically.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic because that's the first township reform that's passed the legislature in generations.
Okay.
So that was exciting to work on with Schonkweiler and Niemeyer. Um, a lot happened, but I'm glad we're kind of through it.
On August 13th, The Veritas Group is hosting the Insight Summit 2026 at the Alexander Hotel in downtown Indianapolis. This is a one-day in-person gathering designed for mayors, city and county officials, planners, engineers, economic development leaders, and community advocates who are actively shaping Indiana's future. The day is built around real-world insight from Veritas Group-led projects across the state, focusing on what's actually working in infrastructure, public space development, and economic growth. Whether you're driving capital projects, navigating growth challenges, or building strategic partnerships, attendees will leave with actionable insights, expanded networks, and a clearer vision for delivering lasting community impact. Learn more and register at theveritasgroup.com/insight.
So I'm going to shift here a little bit, this discussion, maybe into a leadership kind of conversation. So when did you graduate from Hillsdale?
2016.
2016. So I can do math. It is one of my skill sets. I'm gonna think that you are, maybe in your early 30s, right? And
Do I not look like it,
you
Tim?
you do look like you're in your
I've
early
been
30s.
told I look even younger, unfortunately.
Yeah, I am probably significantly older than you. Let's put it that way. The I think sometimes as a young person coming into an organization as the executive director, right, you're probably leading some people that may be older than you in those conversations. I certainly have been around most of the commissioners in the state, I would imagine, are older than you, and at least the ones that I've gotten to know. And I did spend some time with Ethan Lawson, as you mentioned, and the three commissioners from Hancock County here not too long ago as we toured the governor through a project that we're doing out in Hancock County. But so kind of seeing those commissioners, understanding who they are. Oftentimes they're coming out of other careers, they're doing other things. They've spent a lot of time in their community. They've been pillars in their community in many cases, and maybe they just were then prompted to do something a little bit different and run. And we also meet some of the younger people that are maybe in their 40s, 50s, that are trying to really kind of change their county for the better. And I've met many of those as well. But here you are, somebody in their younger 30s, right, trying to make a name for yourself. You had a huge, I think, foot in the door with Governor Holcomb's office. People knew who you were. They made like, who is this young guy coming to tell us what to do? Well, I don't think that's the approach you take. So talk about leadership from your perspective as being a young person walking into what I would consider an older generation's kind of profession.
Sure. A couple lessons learned in that regard, and even in my role in Governor Holcomb's office, when I was working with local officials,
Yeah.
again, the vast majority, if not all of them, were older than me, and some significantly older than me. So trying to bridge that gap in attitude and approach was something that I had to work on. One thing that I did was I want to be the person who is the most prepared in a room. How can I plan ahead? What can I do to prove that I belong in the room, at the table, wherever?
Sure.
Um, how can I prove that to people who have significantly more experience than I do in a certain area? That means doing my research, doing my homework, boning up on policy. How can I best build myself and my experience, my knowledge up so that I can walk into a room and have a conversation on a policy issue, dive deep into it, and with someone who has a lot more life experience in that issue or in
Right.
that county, in that community, whatever. Uh, it's taken a while to build up to that point. But I'm to that point where I'm pretty comfortable on diving deep into a lot of policy. It also comes from a love of this kind of
Sure.
policy,
Yeah.
and because while this is my job, this is my profession. It's also a passion
Yeah.
project for me, whether it's in whatever kind of projects there are or policy issues like residential development or energy or economic development, whatever it may be. I'm passionate about it, so that certainly helps when people realize that I'm not just into it because this is my job and
Right.
I'm paid
No,
to be
it's a
here.
big deal.
I want to be here. And I hope, I feel that passion comes through a bit to whomever I'm speaking to about an issue.
No, I think it's great. You've always impressed me, Tyler, with just the attitude that you bring to the table. I think that we always hear these different generational gaps, right, of the workforce, and how young people are coming into the workforce now have a little bit different approach maybe than we did when we came into the workforce. And we older people can sit around and moan about it and complain about it, when really it doesn't do any good. We need to be able to help and train and teach people. So when I meet young people like yourself that are actively engaged, that are leading other people that are older than them and more experienced than them in a lot of different ways, it's always encouraging. And I hope some of our younger listeners can kind of take something from that, because what I have found is that we have a lot of young people in our office. They either come in really one of three ways. One is the way you talk about, right? Which is just this humility. I'm going to do my best job. I'm going to do what I can do to earn my spot. And that's fantastic. That's what we want every single time. The other way is you come in with a lot of bravado and, hey, I already know the world and I can take over and I can tell you how to do things, which is probably not the best approach.
Sure.
Right. And then the other one, which I don't think is good either, is where you just kind of sit back and say, well, I'm too young to contribute. Like I don't have anything to add to this conversation, which I will tell you, the adults in the room probably don't believe. Right. So the people that have been there the longest still believe that as a young person, you have wisdom to give us, right? Or you may have a different perspective on a situation that we're dealing with. So I know you're not quite just out of college, right, anymore. You've been doing this now for 10 or so years.
Yeah.
You've had several different roles, but here I'm sitting here at 49, and I think of 31 or 32 as still pretty young, right? And in my opinion, so I would want to kind of keep that rolling.
Real quick, Tim,
please,
you made a really good point in how the older generation can help build up that younger generation of employees, of workers, of leaders, providing them that opportunity. I know the people in my life and in my experiences, either a mentor or an employer, a colleague, whoever, that turned to me at the table and said, "What do you think about an issue?
That's right.
What do you bring? What solutions do you think can
Yeah.
be applied to this situation?" Having that opportunity, it's a bit scary
I
at
bet.
first, but kind of that push into leadership,
Yeah.
to see if you do have what it takes to be at the table and to be in the room, and having those that older generation provide that push.
Yeah.
That is, and I'm sure you
Yeah.
have done that for I don't know how many
We try
people
to.
at
Yeah.
Veritas.
I'm sure I fail too at times, right? But I mean, so we're kind of as you know, we're on the precipice of something huge with AI, with how we work and how we function, how we live daily. And I will tell you, my 17-year-old, who's getting ready to go to college, probably has even a little bit better grasp on AI than I do, right? And it's just kind of this generational thing. And this is probably similar to me understanding the internet, and my parents had no idea what it was, right? Back in the mid 90s. So kind of helping them understand that, I think we're in the same place where our younger generation is going to be able to teach us things that we've never known, or how to do what we can do and how it's affecting people around us. Hey, so to wrap this up a little bit, I want to take a little bit of a detour. You have been I have a couple questions for you
Sure.
that I just want you to kind of think through here. 92 counties, you've been to all of them.
Mhm.
I can't say that, right? I can say our company has probably worked in about 60 of the 92 counties, which
Okay.
is pretty solid for us, but we have not been to all 92. Is there a favorite kind of hole in the wall restaurant someplace like that you just found? You're like, man, I didn't know this even existed, but every time I'm here, I'm coming here. Like, where was that?
There are too many.
Too many? Okay.
So let me see.
Give us a couple then. That's fine.
So I visited all 92 counties, and I've had a tenderloin in at least
Wow.
70
Okay.
of those counties. I figured I got to
I think you're
space it
slacking a
out
little. Okay.
a
You got
little
20
bit.
22 more.
If I had 92 tenderloins in
In
a
a year.
year,
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd
You
feel.
look pretty
after
fit. I
that,
think you'd be all right.
I
But
don't
yeah.
know. A lot of time on the road, so I'd say a few that come to mind of my favorites.
Yeah.
First, the Friendly Tavern in Zionsville.
Okay.
Fantastic tenderloin, and it's one that you can actually finish in a sitting. But also the wings there,
Really?
probably the
That
best
good?
wings in the
Okay.
state. It is. And I know my friends at Ale Emporium will have a problem with that, but I love how they fry the wings at Friendly Tavern.
Okay.
Any person who's coming in from out of town that's staying
That's where you
with
take
us,
them?
I take them to
Okay.
the Friendly.
Okay.
It's fantastic. So, Friendly Taverns, great, especially if you're in central Indiana or around Indianapolis. That's a great one. Off of 74 and 231 in Crawfordsville, there's a gas station with probably my favorite tenderloin. I
gas station.
know.
Okay.
A
All right.
gas station tenderloin sounds
Wow.
sounds a
Do you
little
remember what it's called
suspicious.
out there?
Is it the Seneco gas station.
Okay, right there.
Right off of
Okay.
231 and 74.
Yeah.
If you're in Crawfordsville, so they have this little kitchen in there, and they pound it fresh and fry it fresh right there
Wow.
for you. They got potato wedges that are
Okay.
literally a quarter of a potato,
Oh,
and then
I'm
even
gonna have
better,
to stop in Crawfordsville.
they got red cream soda on tap.
Do they really?
Like,
Okay,
that's
that's
the
an
dream
Indiana classic right there. Yeah.
That's a fantastic one. If you're in Rush County, a fantastic one is in Carthage
Okay.
at a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
That's not supposed to be a theme, but I'm
Well, you
also
get a lot of gas when you're driving around.
well,
so
gas and I save money.
Sure.
I'm pretty cheap, so I go to those.
Hey, it's
I
okay.
find those hole in the wall
That's
places
right.
that are typically
Yeah.
better priced, and I think it's Pavy's Grocery in
Okay.
Carthage. Another
You are telling me things I've never
small-
heard before.
Oh,
All right, this is good. This is good.
And I'm sure there are a few
That's right.
tenderloin spots that you can tell me
Yeah,
about.
maybe.
Yeah.
So, have you ever had a tenderloin before you came to Indiana?
I'm sure. Well, beef tenderloin, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've had a true Hoosier tenderloin before coming to the state.
Yeah.
But when I first tried one, I knew I was hooked. Like, this is a thing. I need to make this my thing.
Yeah. Well,
And I think I
you
have.
chose the right state for
Yeah,
that. They
yeah.
certainly know how to do them here.
Yeah.
So what else? What else do you do in your spare time, Tyler? Help us to get to know you as we close this out a little bit more. What's your favorite thing to do if you're not working?
Oh man, those precious moments when I'm not working, I love to spend with my wife Kim. Our two dogs, Lewis and Winston. We rescued them and adopted them. So that was we just love dogs.
Sure.
She wants to get a third. I don't. I don't know. Two is a lot
Yeah.
for me. They're smaller.
It's hard to walk
thankfully.
3 at a time by yourself, right?
You know,
So
I haven't used that one.
You might
I
try
appreciate
that with your
that.
Yeah.
We love our dogs. I love reading. I am.
Do you? Okay.
I'm reading all the time. If I'm not working or eating or sleeping, I'm reading. And right now I'm reading a book about it's called I think it's The Month at the Brickyard.
Okay.
And just getting ready for the race.
There you go. Big
but
race guy.
Big race guy. I try to go each year. Sometimes work allows me to, sometimes not. There's something about
It's on Memorial Day weekend, man. I'm sure work can allow you to go, but
it's tough. It's tough. But it's something about I'm a big tradition guy.
yeah.
And going to the race, and I've seen it. I've watched the race from the infield at Turn 4 to the rooftop of the pagoda and everywhere in between. And there is just, no matter where you are, there is something about taps and back home again in Indiana and the national anthem and the flyover. But especially taps, in my point of view, when you have 300,000 people that may have had one or two at that point in the day. And when taps begins and you don't hear anything, it is just silence.
I remember that from when I was there.
And it just, oh God, it gives me goosebumps just talking about it. And I brought my parents out to see the race for the first time last year, and they understood, like, this is tradition, this is patriotism, this is America. And then the flyover just, And I think that they did something fun last year where they had the Black Hawk helicopter go around and follow the cars, which was just a fantastic addition to the whole spectacle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do, and I love the track. I love the environment. I will be honest with you. I've only been to the race one time, just once. I felt like as a hometown kid, I had to go because I'm from Indianapolis. I went. My wife did not enjoy it.
Okay.
It was not a thing that she doesn't like crowds, and so there was, and so we've kind of talked about it. But we spent a lot of time at the track. We actually do an event at the track. I think it's so unique. Indianapolis. I mean, any place else IndyCar goes, right?
Yeah.
They're there for maybe a week, right? They're maybe there for a few days as they come in, warm up, do their qualifications, run the race, out. It is the month of May in Indiana, and man, it is special. I was able to go to Africa earlier this year, and one of the guys in the plane asked me where I was from, and I said I'm from Indianapolis. He goes, "You ever been to the Indy 500?" Right? That's what everybody asks you about because that's what's on TV. That's what they know Indiana for. So, whether it's tenderloins or the 500, man, I think we've got a great state. I think the county commissioners are in great hands with you.
Appreciate
I'm excited for you and the county commissioners as with all the growth that's happening in this state, and so look forward to having future conversations with you. So thank you for being here today.
Thanks, Tim.
Hey, thanks for listening today. Thanks for clicking on this and diving in a little bit deeper. We hope you learned something today. And if you did, or you want more information, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to connect you with the right people to get you the answers that you need. But really help you leave with one thing in mind, is that our goal here at Veritas is to renew communities through great projects and great people. I think all of these conversations have shown that in some way or another. So thanks for listening today, and catch up with us next time.